Here, still fairly short. This is where I spend most of my life. This is my living room and my workstation, place where I consult with my friends. And to me, if you know who I am, you can learn a lot more by just looking at this picture. And then I wrote a piece here that said, well, what made me do this book? And I think the real motivation was I was 60 years old. I had been moving at 100 miles an hour most of my life, and I decided to, to stop at an overlook and look back, and just felt like it was a necessary thing to do. It's deeper than that, but you can decide that for your life. Why is it time for you to look at what you've been doing? This is just a table of contents. Now we're looking at this book as part of a 4-book series, which is mostly done, where I looked at my personal life, then a couple of my creative skill sets that I put together, and then I had one book that had CDs and DVDs in it. And that information came from all these sources, and these are written, actual buildings, films, videotapes, and experiences. And I've just shown here, trying to give you a sense, this is a database, and this database is not unlike any computer database you might see. And this book, by the way, is made up of folders, so I can even take the pages out. So this is a pretty flexible database, just like a digital database is. So here's one of my first social inventions. It's the amphitheater that we were just sitting in. Here's the stage and a small, like a pulpit area, and ponds where flowers grow, etc. The stage is very grown up now, but this is just one of the first indicators that after having a vision, I also made a little illustration to help get me there. Here's a list, it's several pages long, of all the skills that I have managed to stick my nose and my hands in over the years. You'd be shocked if you really look back at all the things you've done to make a little list of those. And then ask yourself the question, if I knew how to draw, say, and I also knew how to tell stories, what would I do to put those two skills together? And one of the answers could be, I can make a book like this. Drawings and writings. It's fun to take photographs of yourself out from parts of your life and notice just what a complex personality you really are. I do not at all agree with the psychologists who say that if you don't have just one personality, then you have a problem. They call that schizophrenia. Well, I'm a polyphrenic. I have at least 20 characters that I can roll out on any given day. And by the way, those characters help me do what I do in the world very well. I don't want to be one thing. I have chosen to be many things, and these photographs are some evidence of it. Here's a poem. It's very simple, but I'm going to read it to you because it's a tight piece of what I believe I am. He gazes on the garden as usual, his solace and his office, the phone connected to some agent on earth somewhere, his most cherished and purposeful deity and altar of service, the earth, her face above him on the wall. Surrounding him are the mementos of his journey, the objects of his affection, the drivers of his desire, not trophies, but stickers on the side of his saddlebags, from the time of magic, where the oldest name for God was the Delight Maker. Now that's an old Yaqui Indian saying, but I just couldn't resist it. Again, a poetic refrain of who I think I am.